Streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 10.
It's heartbreaking, it is.
Just a breakup of the community, and just it's just not going to be the same.
For the first time, parents faced school leaders who are intent on closing 7 Orange County schools. The disruption it would cause and the math behind it.
Strong cold front is knocking on the door. It's working through parts of the southeast right now. We're going to talk about when it arrives and how cold it gets in your neighborhood coming up in a few minutes.
Plus, toddlers in traffic video that'll terrify any parent. How a Good Samaritan pulled them to safety on busy A1A.
And no cell service since noon? Well, you're not alone. An update on the nationwide Verizon outage in minutes.
But we have to start now at 10 tonight with that cold blast that's coming fast. Arctic air that's bringing with it what could be the coldest air in years. Good evening to you. I'm Matt Austin.
I'm Ginger Gadsden. We're talking 30s and 20s, maybe even a hard freeze in a few places. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas is here now. With how cold we're talking, Jonathan.
Yeah, and that hard freeze, we're looking for actual air temperatures to get to 28 or colder. Ooh. Yeah, we're looking for that really along the I-75 corridor. That's where you might want to think of if you have external pipes that aren't covered up, or you want to let them run, let the spigot run a little bit to prevent any kind of freeze on that. If you have a pool noodle, things like that, just insulate it a little bit on the exterior side. We'll get into all that coming up in about 15 minutes. Here is the front that changes everything itself. It's close. It's working its way through Atlanta, back to Mobile. You see the snow on the northwest side of that, but the cold is rushing in. Air temperatures now back to Nashville, hanging around the freezing mark. Again, compare that to the air around 60 degrees outside right now. It's 4 degrees below zero in International Falls, and that's just kind of the opening of the gates right there. We're going to be inundated with this air coming straight at us from the Arctic, not only for tomorrow, really tomorrow night into Friday morning, but through your weekend and then into early next week as well. So an extended round of some colder air. 56 in Mount Dora right now, doing all right in Palm Coast. We are at 52 degrees. Again, we're going to be on the warmer side, relatively speaking, to start things off tomorrow. That front arrives by lunchtime. We're going to talk about how far those temperatures tumble again into your Friday and beyond coming up at about 10:17, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. News 6 is your place to turn for weather information on the go. Meteorologist Michelle Morgan sent out this county-by-county look at who needs to cover their plants. She sent it out on clickorlando.com and on the News 6 weather app.
Our entire team pushes out alerts through the app. Check current conditions, radar, plus watches and warnings. It's free. Just search WKMG in your app store.
Our other top story at 10 tonight. For the first time, school leaders faced a crowd of unhappy parents inside one of 7 Orange County schools on the chopping block.
Well, it's not a done deal yet. The county says the math is unmistakable. Union Park Middle, where that meeting was being held to handle 1,500 students.
Yeah, the actual enrollment, fewer than 600 students, and that's just one school. Your Orange County community correspondent Troy Campbell is at Union Park Middle School.
This meeting was the first time parents and community members near Union Park Middle School were able to come together, address their concerns right to district leaders. We spoke to parents who say they are against this shutdown.
It's heartbreaking, it is.
Carmen Hernandez has a daughter in 6th grade at Union Park Middle School. She showed up to a community meeting regarding the school's possible closure to express her disapproval.
How would you explain as a parent why that's so disappointing to see that on for your child to have to experience that?
She's now bonding with friends. Some of them are from her elementary school, and as a student, you look forward to growing with that friend group.
This is a community here, and you know, we just got to stick together, but it's very unfortunate.
Elaine Kaufman lives near Union Park Middle and says the close would be devastating.
Just a breakup of the community, and just it's just not going to be the same.
There are 30 middle school students residing and attending Union Park Middle School recommended to be moved to Glen Ridge Middle School.
Orange County school workers presented details of what would happen to all 7 schools targeted for shutdown. The other 6 are elementary schools, Bonneville, Chickasaw, Orla Vista, as well as Eccleston, Meadowwoods, and McCoy. OCPS says they're all operating under capacity due to an aging population, a decline in birth rates, and school choice. Take Union Park Middle, built to handle 1,500 students, but less than 600 are enrolled.
I feel for them. I understand why they're frustrated. I understand why they're mad. I would be too as a parent.
School board member Angie Gallo says the school consolidation plan is not final, but it's necessary.
Kids, we want to do right by all these families, and we know that this is hard and difficult, and I wish we didn't have to be here. I wish that we received the funding that we needed so that we didn't have to consolidate schools.
Now what's next, we're told the OCPS board will hold a workshop meeting on January 27th, and they will discuss what the public input was here at this meeting. In Orlando, I'm your community correspondent, Troy Campbell, News 6.
Tonight, Sanford police say a former school resource officer is under arrest for acting inappropriately with a student. Investigators say they were tipped off about the inappropriate behavior from Pedro Da Silva at Seminole High School. They say Da Silva was talking and sending pictures to a 17-year-old female student while on duty as the school resource officer. This all happened between October 2025 and December 17, 2025. Da Silva has been fired and faces multiple charges. Seminole County Public School Superintendent says she's grateful for the quick response from police to make an arrest and says we will continue to fully cooperate with this investigation and encourage any student or staff member who may have information relevant to this case to come forward.
Now to a terrifying video from a driver in Brevard County who found two toddlers just wandering around on busy A1A. This happened on Sunday in Cocoa Beach. You can see the driver pulling over, getting out, and eventually picking up the girls and then carrying them to safety. That Good Samaritan posted the dash cam on Facebook. It says they were shooting real estate in their car when they saw the kids. They also said the grandparents had no idea the twins were missing and they were watching TV. The girls were in the backyard coloring. Now, there are still some questions that we're asking tonight. For example, who are the parents? Will they be facing any charges? The rescuers say this is a good reminder to watch out while you're driving, too.
A Titusville woman is still in the hospital after being shot. Police are still searching for the shooter more than a day later. News 6's Alex Cook spoke with neighbors who heard the shots and a mom who says her son sprang into action to protect his little sister.
Neighbors tell me this isn't the first time gunshots have disturbed the peace here on 3rd Avenue in Titusville. One mother who wasn't home at the time of Tuesday's shooting says her 16-year-old son called from her home with terrifying news. He could hear gunshots from the house, but he wasn't going to let his little sister get hurt. Sarah Hamilton was at Bible study Tuesday night when her phone rang. It was her 16-year-old son, Josh, who rarely calls, so she knew something was wrong right away.
He said there was about 15 gunshots, but he called me immediately.
Josh was home watching his 4-year-old sister, Shy, when the shooting started. He quickly got her into their pantry, and they laid low to stay safe.
I answered the phone. He's like, "Mom, there's gunshots." And he goes, I grabbed Shy, and we laid low down in the middle room of the house, because it used to be like a little room, but we made it a pantry. I was really proud of him for doing that, but it was scary.
Josh even warned his mom not to come rushing into potential danger.
I was ready to come home, but he told me not to because they were still shooting. But he said there was a lot of police around here, and when I got home, there was still police up and down the street. I was lucky to get into my driveway.
But another woman who lives on the street wasn't so lucky. Last night, just after 6:30, Titusville police say a woman was hit by the bullets and rushed to the hospital. She is expected to be okay. I asked Titusville police about who fired those shots, and they said they can't release many details while they're investigating, but they don't think this shooting was random, and they don't think the public is in any danger. Neighbors say shootings like this are all too common in this public housing community.
I was scared, but at the same time, I was shocked because this is the 3rd time that something happened like this.
In Titusville, Alex Cook, News 6.
Well, tonight, a mother knows she will spend the rest of her life in prison after what Tavares police call one of the most heartbreaking cases in the city's history. Prosecutors say her 10-year-old suffered from systemic abuse from Kimberly Mills and her boyfriend before he died. News 6's Catherine Silver was in court in Lake County.
To get up every day to know that my son is not around.
Difficult doesn't describe the pain Keneal Williams says he's living with after losing his 10-year-old son. His emotional statement to the court Wednesday ended in tears before the boy's own mother was sentenced to life in prison for his death.
You are hereby sentenced to life in the Department of Corrections.
Tavares police say Severe suffered unspeakable abuse from his mom, Kimberly Mills, and her boyfriend, Andre Walker. Pictures shared by investigators showcase the ladder, 10-pound weight, and duct tape they say were used to torment the boy and his younger brother inside the family's home. In February, Zavir was rushed to the hospital with severe bruising, burn marks, and signs of sexual abuse.
On behalf of Ms. Mills, she would like me to indicate to Your Honor that she very much loves her children.
Mills' attorney says she agreed to plead no contest to 5 counts, including a murder charge, to save Zavir's brother from the trauma of testifying against her at a trial.
I lost it. When she said that,
the boy's aunt says nothing will ever justify her family's loss, their pain, this tragedy.
Christmas was hard. He was crying. This is one Christmas that he didn't have his brother. While she's in there talking about, oh, she loves her children, we're out here still grieving.
That was Catherine Silver reporting. This plea agreement spares Mills from the death penalty, but in return, she'll have to testify against her boyfriend. That's Andre Walker at his trial. It's set for later this year. Our top story tonight and all week is the cold, and meteorologist Jonathan Kegas will update the lowest temperatures in years. He's going to talk about that in just a few minutes.
Yeah, but a warning tonight if you have reason to head to one of Volusia County's beaches. Neighbors tell us what is supposed to be free parking is costing them big time. Why they are getting tickets even though they have free resident beach passes.
And is your cell phone stuck in SOS like mine, unable to make any calls? That's actually a picture of my phone. What we know about a nationwide Verizon outage and the signs that it's finally getting better.
And countdown to splashdown in just hours. Crew 11 will be back on Earth a month early. An update on the unprecedented undocking.
You're watching News 6 at 10. We are on a Wednesday night covering Daytona Beach, Tavares, and all of Central Florida.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Central Florida Honda Dealers.
Now on News 6, it's been a year since Volusia County promised free beach parking passes for people living there. But tonight, we're uncovering a problem.
Yeah, some of you have reached out to us letting us know you did not auto-renew and ended up with a surprise ticket. Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed took your concerns straight to county leaders for answers.
If you have a Volusia resident beach pass, make sure you do this ASAP. Log into the parkvolusia.org website and make sure your pass auto-renewed. You might have also received an email with the receipt. This is what my receipt looked like for my own renewal. But many residents tell me they weren't so lucky. These residents all reported online or messaged me that their passes did not auto-renew, so they were left with surprise costly tickets or turned away at the beach when they went to drive on.
Their pass is valid for 365 days from their original registration date, but now they're starting to auto-renew for 1 year at a time, up to 3 years.
Miranda Tressler from the county's Coastal Division says, as with any computer system, there could be the occasional glitch. She says citations can be appealed online. Just follow the directions on the ticket.
If your vehicle is registered or you think you have an incorrect license plate, put that information in the appeal box so that it can be reviewed by our office staff.
Now, some people's beach driving passes should have started auto-renewing in October. That was the 1 year anniversary of that program starting. Off-beach parking lot passes started January 1st. Going by those anniversary dates, between October 1st, 2025 and January 13th, 2026, the county issued over 10,500 citations in off-beach parking lots. More than 1,300 were appealed and nearly 800 of those were upheld.
As long as you register within 30 days of receiving that citation notice, we have a one-time waiver.
Keep in mind, these beach parking passes are only for Volusia County-owned lots that have these Park Volusia signs. They do not apply to city-owned lots like Flagler Avenue here in New Smyrna or the inlet parks. If you get a citation here in the Park Volusia lots, those can cost you up to $100. I'm your Volusia County Community Correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
Well, another big story still developing nationwide tonight.
If you're having trouble using your cell phone and you're a Verizon subscriber, chances are you're really impacted by a nationwide outage. I know because I am one of the tens of thousands of customers who's been seeing SOS in the right corner of my phone all day where the signal bars should be. That is a screenshot from my phone from earlier. By the time I got out here, I got some bars. The website Down Detector tracks outages of all kinds. So at its peak, it counted reports of more than 180,000 Verizon outages around 12:45. We just checked, that number has dropped to just under 8,000. It was 33,000 an hour ago, so clearly Verizon's working on the problem, but they have been mum about what caused it and when everyone will be able to take possible spam calls yet again.
I mean, those numbers, it's good if it's dropping, but if you're still in that 8,000, you're still inconvenienced.
Yeah, hopefully you're asleep if you're one of those.
All right, we do have a timeline for Crew 11's return to Earth. They undocked from the ISS just after 5 this afternoon. We brought it to you live when it happened. One of the 4 members has a medical condition.
Yeah, if all goes as planned, they will splash down off California early tomorrow morning. NASA's decision to bring them back a month early is really unprecedented.
Yeah, Brevard County community correspondent James Barbero is asking what would happen if they were farther from Earth than the ISS, like, say, the moon.
SpaceX Crew 11 is leaving the International Space Station a month early because one of the crew members needs medical attention here on Earth. NASA also hasn't said what exactly the medical problem is, but that their vital signs are steady.
They want to get this person back on the ground in a hospital where they can do the kind of diagnostic test that you just can't do aboard the space station.
CBS News space expert Bill Harwood told me about how space shuttle astronauts have come home early, but for technical reasons. That got me wondering about NASA's plans for deeper space exploration. As soon as next month, in a mission around the moon, Artemis 2 plans to fly farther away from Earth than any crew before, and that's just the start of America's new space race. Should there be concerns about future missions in space if there's medical emergencies on the way to Mars, for example?
You know, they train for medical problems. They've got a full suite of instruments and procedures available to them on the space station. 2 astronauts on each crew are trained as medical officers to handle things like that. But obviously a major problem requires a quick trip back to Earth. And so that's an issue. That's something they're thinking real hard about, and what do they need to do to, you know, handle any sort of emergency that might crop up.
All right, you can check out Splashdown tonight. It's at 3:41 a.m. right off the coast of California.
And we will bring it to you when it happens on clickorlando.com. Time now for a check of that forecast because we need to be prepared and get ready. It's cold like we haven't felt in a very long time.
Yeah, since way back in 2022, guys. Yeah, it's going to be 20s and 30s across the board in Central Florida. Right now, we still have a couple of showers out there. We were pinpointing these earlier, mainly for us in Osceola and Brevard. These are light. These are few and far between. These are all moving from southwest to northeast. These are going to sweep off the coast pretty quickly. This is kind of round 2 of 3 that is pushing through. I know not everybody saw the rain today. That was to be expected as it was kind of a broken line moving in off the Gulf. Here is the front itself. There's some scattered showers along with it. I do think rain chances will go up a little bit overnight and through about 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning before the drier and colder air blast in behind this front. You can see the green lines here. That represents the wind direction, again, blasting out of the north and west behind the front. So pinpointed that for you here. Overnight, there's 4 to 5 o'clock. In the morning, don't be surprised if that happens before you're up. If you hear some raindrops on your roof, scattered downpours for the morning commute are going to be out there. Some of that rain in isolated pockets going to be heavy at times. You saw the darker yellows and oranges in the mix. That's 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, still hanging on to a few showers. And then watch what happens quickly. All of the clouds get out of here by the second half of your afternoon. That is the rush of the cold and dry air that works its way in for the second half of Thursday and then settles in on Friday. And then from that point on, we are chilling until we get into the middle of next week. Here's a live look. Port Canaveral, Brevard County with our Launch Credit Union camera tonight. Air temperatures back to the upper 50s. We're still keeping the clouds around. The breeze right now at about 5 miles an hour. So it's nice and comfortable, relatively speaking, still hanging around 60 degrees across a lot of Central Florida tonight. The chill, again, making its way now to Birmingham and Atlanta. Really cold as you go further to the north. As the gates are open to the Arctic, we will continue to see round after round of that chill come in till about Wednesday or Thursday of the upcoming work week. 51 in Mount Dora when you wake up tomorrow, 47 in Ocala. So doing all right tomorrow morning. We are going to be dodging the rain out there, so just be on the lookout for that. Have the umbrella. You'll be able to leave that in the car, though, if you are leaving work in the evening, because it is going to be clear. It's just going to be cold, so have the heavier stuff when you come out of work. Air temperatures tomorrow will struggle to get out of the 50s, as we would be combating that breeze coming in out of the north and west. Hour-by-hour forecast for tomorrow. You see the tumble, again, steady at first. We'll have some sunshine in the mix late that'll help prevent the crazy fall. And then we're going to watch the temperatures kind of bottom out here as we move towards 9 to 10 o'clock. We're back to the mid-40s, 42 by 11. And then we'll continue that tumble until we bottom out in the 20s and 30s early on Friday morning. We will rebound back to the mid-50s. We were talking about the pipes earlier, really northwest of I-4. Certainly Marion and Sumter counties, Coleman back to Ocala, we're talking mid to upper 20s. That will put us 4 to 6 hours below freezing. That'll be good enough for exterior pipes to have some freezing issues. So if they're not insulated and you do have the pipes on the exterior, you might want to think about insulating those or letting the spigots drip a little bit to prevent things freezing. Back to the mid to upper 50s on Friday. Doing all right on Saturday. It's looking great, upper 60s. And then there comes the next round of colder air in time for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Back to the mid-30s to start, guys, on Monday morning.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. Well, abused and lethal. Nitrous oxide has many uses, but when it's huffed, it can kill.
Now, after the death of a Central Florida woman, the state may finally be acting. Next at 10, details on a bill that would prohibit the sale of nitrous oxide in some places. It's often found in abused smoke shops.
I was able Wednesday to get my hands on nitrous oxide just by walking into a supermarket. Now, I know that might not sound like some earth-shattering revelation to you, but this is just another important reminder of how ubiquitous this stuff is. In this case, in this aerosol container that I'm holding, the nitrous oxide, N2O, acts as a propellant to help make the cream that comes out foamy.
And the supermarkets are not carrying these large canisters. Problem actors in this situation are smoke shop owners and manufacturers.
Lee Caldwell knows more than she ever wanted to know about smoke shops. Her sister Meg died outside of one in November 2024.
She was the apple of all of our eye.
29-year-old Meg Caldwell overdosed on nitrous oxide after a crippling addiction. Inhaling the gas is illegal in Florida, but selling it in smoke shops is not.
She would tell us, I'm buying this legally. And we would say this is harmful. She never believed that it was as harmful as it could be.
So if we take a look at current Florida statute, it's considered a third-degree felony for anyone to knowingly distribute, sell, purchase, transfer, or possess more than 16 grams of nitrous oxide. Now, if we look at this proposed bill in question, that 16-gram threshold now goes out the window. We're talking about any nitrous oxide would be illegal to possess, sell. Of course, there are exceptions. We're talking about grocery stores and supermarkets. That's because nitrous oxide does have legitimate purposes, like in a medical office or, as we showed you before, as a food additive.
If you are a restaurateur using it in a commercial kitchen, you're not headed to the smoke shop to get your nitrous oxide.
Last September, an undercover operation resulted in 70 felony arrests tied to retailers selling nitrous oxide in illicit amounts. Now the state is looking to go a step further.
That they can turn off this whole supply chain for this illegitimate use.
Lee plans to travel to Tallahassee to testify if this is brought up in committee, but so far it has not been scheduled. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.